Imagine a fire, not the kind that burns down a forest or guts a building, but a silent, invisible combustion happening inside a home.
It burns through energy, patience, and eventually, health.
That's a stark reality. How do we address it?
Awareness is key, and proactive steps.
Agreed. In millions of households, specifically within the Nigerian context but applicable globally, this fire is fueled by an endless, unspoken to-do list. The cooking, the cleaning, the emotional management of a spouse, a educational monitoring of children.
That's a comprehensive list. It's crucial to acknowledge all of it. It is a relentless cycle that society tells us is simply part of the job for women.
But what if that job description is actually a health hazard? We're looking at a text today by Patricia Pius titled The Core Myth, and specifically her arguments regarding healing through rest and shared care.
It posits that the exhaustion women feel isn't a personal failure of time management,
But a structural failure of partnership. And that distinction is vital, Noah. We often treat burnout as a badge of honor.
particularly in cultures with strong communal and matriarchal expectations like Nigeria. If you are not tired, you are not working hard enough.
Patricia challenges that premise entirely. She argues that this silent fire you mentioned is stealing joy and health, and that the antidote requires a radical shift in how we view the domestic ecosystem.
It is not about buying a better planner or waking up an hour earlier. It is about deconstructing the gendered architecture of the home.
The phrase gendered architecture suggests something built on purpose, something sturdy. When we look at the Nigerian household, whether in a bustling high-rise in Lagos or a family compound in the southeast, there is a deep-seated script. The man provides, the woman sustains.
Ukima calls this the chore myth. Why do we cling to this myth even when modern economic realities often demand that women also provide financially?
That's a great point.
It seems like kept the old expectations while adding new ones.
Sociologists refer to this as the stalled revolution.
The stalled revolution, that's an interesting term. Women entered the workforce in droves over the last 50 years.
That the domestic sphere did not evolve at the same pace.
In the Nigerian context, this is layered with intense cultural values regarding the virtuous woman. There is a fear that if a woman relinquishes control of the domestic sphere, she loses her moral standing or her value to the family unit.
But Ukima's text points out a critical flaw in this thinking. The cost is biological. Research from the World Health Organization has consistently shown that women who carry a double burden of work and domestic labor suffer higher rates of cardiovascular issues and anxiety.
This isn't just about dirty dishes, it is about life expectancy. That biological cost is what really struck me in the text. She uses the term sacred rest. Now, to a skeptic, or perhaps just the traditionalist, that sounds a bit like New Age fluff.
I understand the hesitation, but it's rooted in ancient practices.
It sounds like something you do at a spa, not in a real house with screaming toddlers and bills to pay. How does she differentiate this from just sleeping?
It is a profound difference. Sleep is a physiological necessity. Often for these women, it is just a coma they fall into before the alarm rings again. Sacred rest, as Yukima defines it, is intentional. It is a boundary. It is the comprehensive renewal of mind, body, and spirit.
She argues that in many Nigerian homes, rest is viewed as time stolen from productivity. If you are sitting down, you are wasting time.
Sacred rest flips that. It views rest as the foundation of sustainable living. You cannot pour from an empty cup, as the saying goes. But she takes it further. She suggests creating a restful environment. This means a physical space, a nook, a chair. Exactly.
So it's about intentional design.
A specific time of day that signals to the brain, we are off the clock.
But practically speaking, how does one enforce that? If you are a mother in Abuja and you decide, okay, 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then the neighbor knocks or the husband asks where his blue shirt is,
that boundary evaporates.
The text mentions boundary setting as a pillar of healing, but in a culture that prizes hospitality and availability, isn't saying no viewed as an act of hostility?
That is the friction point.
Exactly.
In collectivist cultures, boundaries can feel like rejection. However, Ukima suggests a strategy of kind firmness. It involves communicating the why. You are not saying, go away, I don't want to talk to you. You are saying, I am resting for 30 minutes so I can be present and healthy for you later.
It is a reframing. We live by an internal script of endless obligation.
We have to rewrite that script. If a woman collapses from exhaustion, the household halts anyway. So preventative rest is actually an act of service to the family.
It is a difficult pivot, but essential. So let's move to the other side of this equation, the partner.
We are still discussing the book The Corey Myth by Patricia Pius.
We will continue in the next episode on the subject, sacred rest. See then.